Ladies and gentlemen, give it up if you will for the West Lothian Schools Pipe Band. And there's one member of this pipe band who has a Speedway pedigree. She's probably a wee bit out of puff, is it? What's your name, young lady? Shannon Gould. And Shannon's dad is Paul Gould, former Monarch. So give Shannon an extra wee round of applause if you will. Well done, Shannon. Okay, so we've got the riders round here. There's just one more to come. And he's leaving the pits on Taffy's time machine. Ladies and gentlemen, the man we're here to salute tonight, our Captain Fantastic. Give it up for Derek Sneddon! Is that David Harkis driving that? Anyway, there we go. Folks, let me introduce you to the riders tonight for Derek's big night as he gets off Taffy's time machine with his daughter Sophie. Let me introduce our team, starting with Edinburgh, sponsored by Ride It and Slide It. The team manager is Kieran Swanson, and wearing number 1, answering a late call to replace Thomas Jonathan, a long-time Armadale favourite and Aussie team manager, sponsored by the Black Bull and mascot Jamie Fraser. Welcome Mark Lemon. Wearing number 2, our 10-year Monarch who's been abandoned this season and had his testimonial in 2012. Switches to Edinburgh because Max Frick has flu, sponsored by C&D Autos with mascot Casey Thompson. Give it up for Maggie Weathers. At 3, our brilliant Magyar, a rider everyone loves watching, a key man in the team. Tonight sponsored by Bob and Morag Miller, mascot Lewis Cameron. It's Joe Tabaka. And at 4, wow, captain of the Monarchs' first league winning team in 2003, one of our greatest ever riders, riding tonight for Derek, sponsored by Sophie Whitelaw, mascot Cody Thompson. Raise the roof for Freddie Shots! Now, the Glasgow team, sponsored by the Waving Star team manager, Johnny Vescow. At 1, a great Scot who's seen the whole of Derek's career and ridden against him many times, now nearing the end of his own career. Sponsored by Joanna and Mitch Balsillie, mascot Paige Cut. Give it up for James Greaves! Oh, he'll be gutted. Not one of you booed him. That's more like it. At number 2 for Glasgow, a Monarchs man wearing his former team colours for the night, in great form recently, sponsored by Eddie and Isabel Hamill. And happy birthday, Eddie, from Isabel. Mascots Rocco Webb and Warren Robertson. It's Tail Piper! At 3, a real tiger coming into the Glasgow team to replace Matty. He hit page 14 against us last weekend. Sponsored by David and Sophie Hay, mascot Sophie Hay. It's Joey Ringwood! And wearing number 4, a young Scottish junior who's been doing well this year with the opportunities in the Northern Track. Sponsored by Hamish McGregor, mascot Reece Todd. Welcome Ryan McDonald. Now, the Newcastle team, sponsored by Duddingston Private Hire. Team manager is Callum Kearney. At number 1, a world-class Dane who's recently qualified back into the Grand Prix for next season. Sponsored by Steve Brock, mascot James Foxley. Welcome Kenneth Vieira. At number 2 for Newcastle, a star Monarch for so long, now assisting Newcastle to challenge at the top of the table. Sponsored by Craig Brock, mascot Logan Spence. It's Andrew Tully! Next up for Newcastle, back in diamond colours just for the one night, riding brilliantly for Workington at the moment. Sponsored by Big Al with mascot Bryce Patterson. Welcome Rennie back! And at 4, riding for Buxton this season, well known at all the Northern Tracks, possibly riding his last meeting tonight. Sponsored by the McKenna family, mascot Kira Tosh. Give it up for Adam McKenna! And now, the rest of the world team, sponsored by Border Roofers with team manager Eddie McKenna at number 1. He's been away too long. Our brilliant American favourite, back to ride for his old team partner, sponsored by Leanne McVicker, mascot Alan Fraser. There can be only one, Ryan Fisher! At 2 for the rest of the world, our popular Dane scoring well for the team this season, always a trier, sponsored by Ma, Auntie Margaret and Mags, mascots Lewis and Benjamin Foxley. It's Klaus Vissing! And at number 3, one of the 2003 heroes still going strong, an instructor at Scunthorpe and riding in the Northern Junior League, sponsored by Ian and Ruth, mascot Abby Miller. Give him a big cheer, otherwise you'll punch your head in. It's Wayne Carter! And at number 4, one of the heroes taking a late booking to replace Kevin Doolan, brilliant twice here this season, sponsored by Alan and Carol Hewitson, mascot Amy Lumsden. Welcome Ludwig Lindgren! And I've got a few more. A couple of meeting reserves. First of all, a young man who's been riding brilliantly for us in recent matches, sponsored by Colin M. Easton Plumbing and Heating Hospital. Mascot Morgan Hambling. Welcome Liam Carr. And an additional reserve. He rides for Stoke in the National League. Welcome Lee Payne, if you will. Here come our veterans then, sponsored by Mike and Jane. Give it up for Kevin Little. Sponsored by Colin M. Easton, Rob Grant. Sponsored by Stuart Melrose of Scotways with a fag in one hand and a pint in the other. It's Dickie Jewell. Sponsored by Mikey and Karina. Peter, the motor, car. And last but not least, sponsored by Ron and Janice, it's Kenny McKenna. In fact, there's one more, sponsored by the Armadale Bar, Johnny Swales. Well done. And we've got a couple as well.